Assessment Quickies, Student Learning Outcome Assessment in 10 Easy Steps. Podcast number 6, Matching Assessment to Teaching and Learning. Hi, my name is Michelle, and with the help of Professor Walter, we will provide answers to the most commonly asked questions. By the end of this podcast, you will be able to link your teaching and learning styles to program-level student learning outcomes and assessment measures.
We've seen that there are many options for assessment measures. Which are the right ones to use?
Student learning outcomes define what students are expected to know and be able to do. Assessment measures show how well students have learned what they were expected to. In between are the teaching and learning experiences in individual courses and the types of assignments students complete in those courses.
How are teaching and learning strategies linked to SLOs?
For expectations of student learning, or SLOs, phrased at the most basic levels, the teaching and learning strategies most often employed are things like lecture and discussion, assigned readings, or rote learning.
So these teaching and learning strategies are also linked to assessment measures?
Yes, the most common assessment measures used in conjunction with basic level SLOs are objective tests such as true-false, multiple choice, or fill in the blank.
So, we need to take into account the teaching and learning strategies, as well as the level of student learning expected, SLO, in selecting assessment measures?
Right. If we expect students to be able to list or define concepts, and we mostly assign readings and lectures, then the assessment measures should be appropriate, such as objective tests. It would be unrealistic to assess students on higher levels of learning, such as analysis or synthesis.
When should we use these different teaching and learning strategies?
You can use different strategies in different courses, for example, lecture and discussion in introductory courses, where the expectations is that students will learn basic terminology. You can use different strategies across the semester in the same course, building from basic to higher levels of expectations for student learnings. You can also, at the degree program level, decide where to use different strategies across the curriculum. For example, faculty can provide students with different teaching and learning experiences, and the use of these different experiences will build student learning over time. Here you can see a matrix that shows a program with 3 student learning outcomes and 3 required courses. The teaching and learning styles progress from basic to advanced, from lectures to problem solving to senior projects.
What about middle levels of student learning?
For SLOs at the middle level, the teaching and learning strategies most often employed supplement lectures with problem solving, evidence-based tasks, group projects, or internet-based communication such as discussion boards.
So, for mid-level SLOs, we can use different types of assessment measures of student learning?
Yes, if we want students to demonstrate their learning on mid-level SLOs, we can ask students to demonstrate problem-solving skills, to use evidence in assignments, to work in groups, to make presentations, and to post comments on internet-based communication such as bulletin boards or blogs.
What are the teaching and learning strategies for higher level SLOs?
For expectations of student learning at the higher level or more advanced level, most of the teaching and learning strategies shift the focus away from the instructor and to the students as co-creators of learning. These include strategies such as student teaching, internships, field work, student consulting or service learning, projects where students design, build, and test an idea or a device or a product, and strategies where students plan, implement, and evaluate a project from start to finish.
So, for higher level SLOs, we can also link the type of teaching and learning strategies to the type of assessment measures used.
Yes, here we can use ratings from internship supervisors or field supervisors of student teachers or practitioners. We can use feedback from community organizations where students carry out projects. We can obtain the judgment of professionals on the quality of student performances or presentations, or the rankings of student projects and competitions.
I noticed that these are all direct measures of student learning. What about indirect measures?
Well, the best strategy is try to obtain direct evidence of student learning first from actual student work or ratings of student learning on specific SLOs by experts. Then you can supplement your assessment of student learning with indirect measures such as student exit interviews or alumni surveys.
Okay, once we decide on which assessment measures to use, what's the next step?
In the next podcast, we'll explain how to plan for collecting evidence of student learning. And thanks for tuning in to this podcast.